Hey guys, this is What If Deku was Spider-Man 2099 Part 2. Now guys, I am recording this on Thursday afternoon. So you're going to get this to Friday morning, Friday night, or Friday afternoon, either one of that. I am also going to be recording some new what ifs, like my newest what if Deku was Jack Frost. That's going to be a little bit of a new recurring what if. I am kind of, warming up to I'm liking a little bit. Also, guys, go in the comments if it's any old what ifs I've made in the past, or any what ifs I've made one parts to and never continued, like years ago. Just go down in the comments and tell me if you want me to continue that or reboot it. So let's just dive right into this fan fiction of What If Deku was Spider-Man 2099 Part 2. Now, we start the story off last time we left off, as Deku would have, channeled his powers and would have, had more of his abilities more locked down. He would have trained them as he was on his way, after he got dropped off, on his way to the entry exams. As he would have walked in there, him coming across a shadowy figure. This shadowy figure being a new student or new character in the My Hero Academia lineup, as this new character would have been a new character, Kron Stone. As he would have been, if you know the name Kron Stone, and if you're a really big fan of the 2099, Spider-Man 2099 lore and villains, you would know what this name means. But enough said. But as this new character would have been a somewhat similar to Deku. Same height, same width, same body type as Deku. With white hair and sort of green eyes. As Deku would have seen this hooded figure, as his hooded figure would have taken off his hood, looking at Deku saying, "What's up?" As he would start to make small talk with Deku, as Deku would be confused in some way, some form, kind of somewhat feels like he knows this person. He's connected to him somehow. He is something off about this person. As he would eventually look at Deku and basically pat him on the back saying good luck, as he would have walked off smirking. As Deku would be in pure shock and be confused on what was going on, and while that dude just started a conversation with him, even though Deku did not even know this man. But he just continued to walk off, as eventually he would find his way to the written exam room. As he would have gotten a pretty good score with written exams, since he was literally a child prodigy, and also we would get switched to the more physical part of the entry exams with the robots. As everybody would have been told and be freshened up about the robots, even still making that huge little remark saying I don't understand, but President Mike saying you should have paid attention, blah blah blah. As eventually they would have been led to the door area. As President Mike would have told him there's no countdowns in a real fight, as he would have told them to all go go go. As Deku would have heard this, as he would have ran and scaled up the wall, as he would have jumped upwards down on the floor, as he would have booked it, basically running, as eventually he would have found his way in a nearby alleyway, as he would have seen about 5 to 6 5-pointers and 4-pointers, as he would have started to fight them, clashing through them and pretty much clawing through in Black Panther style, as Deku would have had razor sharp claws that can literally cut through concrete, steel, titanium, and literally any type of steel, as he would have started to cut through these robots like nothing, chawing through them and treating them like trash, basically being the garbage man. So he basically was shredding through these robots like nothing. Deku would have been running up buildings, jumping to side, jumping to building, eventually landing towards the 0-pointer. As he ranked up a lot of points at this point in the story, as he started to sprint off, as he would have been stopped by a scream in the distance, as he would have looked over, seeing a brown-haired girl under some rubble. As Deku would have ran over there, as basically Deku would have been stopped by huge, giant black goo that would have hit him about 20 to 6 feet away. As he would have 20 to 60 feet away. As he would have been pushed into a nearby building, him being knocked out. As this person or goo would have grabbed Ochaku and gained her out of the way of the 0-pointer. As Ochaku would have been on the ground, as this black goo, this black character, would have been a shadowy figure, as she would be kind of unconscious, somewhat not really knowing the silhouette or how this person looks, but just knowing it was a giant muscular creature with bluish blackish skin tone, as the creature would have ran off. As Ochaku would have passed out, as a couple hours later, Deku would have woken up in the recovery room next to Ochaku. As Deku would have gotten up, him being pretty healed and not really needing recovery girl's help, as he would have ran out there, basically him walking home. As Deku would be confused on what hit him, as he would have seen bruises underneath his outfit, seeing that it was some bruises recovery girl couldn't heal for some reason. As he would have looked around, basically being very confused on what's going on. As he would have kept on walking, but from afar, some sort of creature was watching him, pacing him, studying him. As we get switched to the next day and the next couple of days prior to that, as eventually Deku would have gotten the note from UA that he got in. As Deku would have walked to Class 1A, basically walking to UA to get his steps in, and actually swinging there halfway through the city, getting past the heroes and basically getting past the police, none of them really seeing this teenage boy swinging through the city. As eventually he would have found his way to, well, UA. As he would have walked into Class 1A, him seeing all the students talk, gather about, basically just mingle. As Deku would have sat down, as he would have seen Kron, as Deku would have seen this boy, as this boy would have looked at Deku, giving him a devilish smirk, as he would have walked off. As Deku would be very much confused and still some way, some form, feeling, I don't know, off about this person. But he would have let it fade away in the back of his head. As he would have been waiting in his chair, as eventually a black-haired girl would have walked up to Deku, saying, "How are you?" and basically saying that he or she noticed him doing the entrance exams. As they would start to talk a little bit, her initiating a little type of flirty conversation. As Deku would have felt a little bit fluttered, as he would start to flirt with her a little bit, as they would have gone back and forth. Now Deku would have started to continue the conversation until Aizawa would have woken up from his slumber and would have gotten out of his, sleeping bag. As he would have told the class it took you 15 minutes to quiet down, especially you two lovebirds back there, pointing at Momo and Deku. As Deku would have said, wait, no, it's not, and basically, Aizawa just shutting them up and telling them to zip it, as he would have been all told to go downstairs, get in their gym uniforms, and head outside for quirk assessments. Because, put it simple, as I said, I don't think you guys, or all of you guys, deserve to be in here, especially not you, Todoroki. Got a recommendation. I don't trust those things. As he would have started to tell the class to go down there now, as everybody would have gone to the gym area, as in the locker room, the boys' locker room, they would have looked at Deku, as Deku's physique would have been very much toned. As Kirishima would have made a comment saying, "You're so manly, dude." As Deku would have kind of thought this is kind of gay. Just telling somebody you're manly in the middle of the locker room when you're both shirtless. I don't know. You want to tell me something? You want to tell me something, Kirishima? You want to tell me something? But no. But basically, Deku started, saying thanks, I guess, as he would have started to get ready in their uniforms. As they would have started to run out there, as they would have all been told to get ready, as Bakugo was the first one to get told to throw the ball. As Bakugo chucked the ball using the explosion quirk to propel it forward, getting a pretty good score, and Deku being told to go next, as Deku would have grabbed the ball and he would have chucked it full speed, full throttle, getting a pretty good, decent score. As Deku would have gotten a pretty good score, getting higher than Bakugo's score since Deku was pretty strong. And we all know, Spider-Man 399, like the real one in the comics, was to fight anybody in the My Hero Academia world. He would literally dust all of them in a matter of minutes, if we're being for real. Like deadass, Aizawa, Bakugo, everybody in Class 1A, everybody in Class 1B, and B or whatever, would get bodied by Miguel O'Hara's, if we're being honest. But basically, the rest of the class would have been told to do the high jump, as Deku would have gotten a pretty good score on that, getting a flawless jump score. The race, Deku gained about 3rd to 2nd place. As for the grip test strength, Deku gained pretty high, as Deku would have gotten about 2nd to 1st place. As everybody would have been told to go home, getting handed their syllabus, as Deku would have walked home. Him catching a drive by his, butler or whatnot, as he would have gotten in here. As he would have been driven to his house, as Deku, had a bunch of people going after his head since he was the next one in line for the vice president / co-owner of Alchemex, as he would have been going into his pretty much room, as he would have had or lived in a type of penthouse type Japanese room area, as he would have used to live in this big house type mansion area on the coast side of Japan with his parents, but it brought him too many bad memories to sleep there at night, as he would have just rented out, well, not rented out, but would have bought a very spacious penthouse. As he would have been sitting there alone in his room, contemplating about life and thinking about memories with his parents, but him being brought to the harsh, sad reality that they're just gone. As he would have started to cry in the middle of the night. And Deku was it is a very sad what if. Deku's gonna be very depressed and sad throughout the what if. But it still had that little type of, I guess, Miguel Harris is a pretty non-funny Spider-Man. But we were seeing that, well, Deku would have woken up in the morning, being a couple minutes late to the bus, not the bus, but a couple minutes late, as he knew traffic was going to be an absolute pain in the ass this morning, as he would have gotten up from his seat, running to school, eventually getting there somewhat on time for All Might to bust into the room and telling everybody they were going to do, well, combat training for today. As everybody would have been told to press the buttons, as suitcases would have appeared out of the walls, being told by everybody, and All Might telling everybody that, well, those are your hero costumes. Try them out. As Deku would have gotten this, remembering that he did put in the type of commission form, but for Alchemex, he put it in for Alchemex, and he assigned it to himself. So he was the one that designed his hero costume hand by hand, and got it, commissioned by Alchemex, since Deku kind of still works at Alchemex. As Deku bits on his hero costume, having the exact same, familiar, iconic, normal comic book blue and red Spider-Man 2099 suit. Basically this type of suit. And this type of suit. So we're gonna be going after or over Deku's suit, functions and how his suit was made. So the main thing Deku really noticed in the, golden era of heroes, that Spider-Man used so many technologies and so many pretty much advancements of technology that modern heroes today don't even have their hands on, as he would have had a type of suit that was made out of unstable molecules, as Deku made this out of his suit because, to put it simple, it was a new molecule he was working on before he started focusing on the Spider-Man pretty much solution, or making the Spider-Man powers synthetically. So, to put it simple, Deku started using the suit. And basically the suit is very much durable, taking laser blasts, cuts, and stabs and bullet shots easily, as the very durable material. But high concentrations of electricity, or just a different type of energy absorption powers or quirks, can disrupt his suit, making it freak out, or either making his suit less durable and making it more like fabric or latex you can get from Party City type of fabric. But his suit is very durable, and also very flexible as well, as he also has a type of nanotech, slim fit technology and gadgets, like spider trackers, spider bots, and also spider grenades and web bombs, as his web shooters are also synthetically, pretty much made out of type of a laser technology, as he has normal webbing, but also he has interchangeable webbing setting that he can shoot laser blasts out of his webs, and also make plasma type webbing and also ropes to subdue villains or take them out or electrocute them, making electrocution webs or a lightning powered electrocution type webbing. So basically kind of like Whiplash from Iron Man type electrocution webbing type whips. As he also has basically his claws on the side of his suit that are on the other side of his suit that he can claw and cut through buildings, concrete, steel walls, and basically are very durable and can literally cut through anything. Same type of durability his claws have. His suit is very, durable, meaning that majority of the time when he was crawling on walls, he can't really crawl on walls with his whole, suction cuff hand things. So he relies on his claws when he's wearing his suit to crawl on walls. So he has to rely on his claws like original Miguel Harris does when he has his suit on to, walk and climb up walls and stuff like that. So yeah. And also, his mask is very tight. And also it has little to no light in it, as his eyesight is perfectionate, like absolutely god levels of eyesight. He could see things that are like at micro levels, or like an inch worth of space, basically from a very far length away. Basically him having very much equivalently, I don't even know what that means, but having a really good eyesight, as his suit or his mask was very much tight and had no eye holes, kind of like original Miguel O'Hara's mask is made of. So basically, for example, he has the same type of technology and advancements in his suit that original Miguel O'Hara's has in the comics in the Spider-Verse. Not the Spider-Verse movie, but just in the comics in general. Now, I also am taking inspiration from the laser type webbing Miguel O'Hara's has in Spider-Verse to give, pretty much this version of Spider-Man 2099 Deku combination to give him that. So basically, yeah. So everybody was very impressed by Deku's suit, and that it looked very well, and it looked so durable, but also was so fabric type, skin tight, and very flexible, as it was very form fitting and fit his body very well. As the class would have been told to team up with certain individuals for, the clashing up. Eventually, everybody would have been teamed up the same way, Deku being teamed up with Ochaku. As everybody would have been told to go, as everybody got ready. As Deku would have gotten ready, as they would have been told to go, as Deku would have told Ochaku to go upstairs to try to distract Ida as he takes care of Bakugo, him knowing that Bakugo is more of a bigger threat than Ida, to his knowledge. As Deku ran off, as he would have been told to stop, as he got a detection from Bakugo's footsteps later on in the building. As well, Deku would have had the same type of system that Layla, his AI technology type system that Spider-Man 2099 Miguel O'Hara has, Layla. As Layla would have been a AI system that actually worked for Deku's father, and that was a head type of scientist, aka helper to Deku's father and to multiple other members in Alchemax. But since Deku's father died, Alchemax put down the Layla project and put it in the back burners of the system. As Deku would have gone back in the back and would have gone behind the head council of Alchemax, basically deleting all the systems of Layla instead of the original one that helped his father the most and had the most experience with his father. As Deku updated or attached this Layla system to his computer systems and everything that he had running up, including his suit AI and the technology his suit was pretty much powering. As Layla would have had the same, abilities and pretty much limitations as comic book and Spider-Verse Layla. As Spider-Verse Layla had abilities like being able to reenact crime scenes just by some video evidence, also being able to detect people's heartbeats and other things like that. But Deku could do that himself with his increased senses and hearing. As Deku would have ran up the building, basically going outside the building, crawling up the walls, eventually coming towards a window area, as he would have seen Bakugo walk down the hallway. As he would have came behind Bakugo, grabbing him by the back of his neck and slamming him through a whole ass wall, hitting him into another room, as Bakugo would have been on the floor coughing up blood, as he would have grabbed his neck, being very sore by him being chucked through a freaking wall into another pillar in the other room. As Bakugo would have gotten up coughing blood, as he would have thrown a huge explosion towards Deku. As Deku would have dodged with minimal effort, as he would have grabbed Bakugo's head, slamming him into the ground yet again. As he would start to pummel Bakugo down to the ground, trying to knock him out as quick as possible, not trying to waste any time with him. As Bakugo would have gotten overwhelmed by punches and furies of scratches and claws towards his face and his chest, as well, Deku would have seen that Bakugo was getting kind of pissed off and went for his gauntlets. As Deku was about to react, clawing or slicing through Bakugo's wristbands, but being too late, as Bakugo would have pulled his pin on both of his gauntlets, blasting Deku with both of the gauntlets point blank range, skin to skin contact, blowing both of them about 15 to 20 feet away, blasting Bakugo through the freaking floor down to the pretty much fourth to last level of the building, pushing Bakugo down to the ground. pushing Deku up into the ceilings, eventually falling into a nearby staircase and going down the staircase, even almost breaking Deku's neck. As Deku would have gotten up, coughing up blood, taking off his mask, as he would have been very much injured by this attack. As he started to see his suit was self-healing himself, as it also had that feature. As Deku took his mask and put it back over his head, as he would have started to swing through the staircase, eventually coming towards the bottom room, as Bakugo would have been passed out at this point, or somewhat was. As Deku would have gotten up the building and basically kicking down the door, as it would have hit Ida on full impact, as Ida was walking or running towards the door as he was running the bomb away from Ochaku, as the room would have been floating with rocks and pebbles and pillars. As Deku would have grabbed the bomb out of Ida's hand as before he fell onto the ground, as Deku was about to grab it, as he would have gone for the bomb before Ida hit the floor, as out of nowhere an explosion would have popped off behind Deku. Bakugo back up, coughing up blood with a broken arm, as Bakugo would have thrown another explosion towards Deku, pushing Deku into 3 to 6 more pillars in the building, and basically him coughing up even more blood, him being in very bad, critical condition. As Deku would have looked over, as Bakugo would have thrown another explosion towards Deku, as Deku would have dodged it yet again. As Deku would have dodged and dodged, doing weaves, attacks, and flips and kickbacks, and eventually coming towards Ochaku, grabbing Ochaku and chucking it towards Bakugo to distract Bakugo, as he would have went down there, chucking towards the bomb, or chucking himself towards the bomb by pushing himself off of a pillar, as he would have tried to go after the bomb, but Ida coming out of nowhere with an execrable burst, hitting Deku straight in his ribcage, as Deku would have been pushed into a nearby ceiling. Deku would have fallen to the ground as he would have gotten pissed off, his fangs coming out of his mask, as he would have taken off his mask, running towards Ida and biting him in the neck, paralyzing Ida for a temporary amount of time. As everybody would have seen this, being kind of confused that Deku had power the whole time, as Bakugo would have thrown another explosion towards Deku, as he would have gotten Ochaku off of him, as Deku would have dodged the explosion, grabbing Bakugo's good hand and breaking it in like 2 different spots, as he would have knocked out Bakugo in one clean right hook, knocking the absolute snot out of him. As they would have both been knocked out, and before the bomb hit the ground, Deku would have swinged himself or webbed himself over there, grabbing the bomb before it hit the ground, winning and getting a pretty good score nonetheless. Now the rest of the day would have gone similar to the same, but basically with the same, with the whole, pretty much team or fight that happened with, was it Mineta? Mineta would have been replaced since he wouldn't have gotten a good score in the quirk assessments. As for example, he got replaced with a student in Class 1B, Kron Stone, as he would have been the new member, a new student in Class 1A. It would have been kind of a big point of the story in this what if. Now, he would have been basically on the same team as Mineta in the original, but I'm pretty sure Froppy and Mineta were teamed up in the original, team up they were in. They did still win, but they would have won a very gruesome and very different way, as this way would have been very much worse. Instead of Mineta using his pop-off quirk to sword to the other team, Crane would have had some sort of type of superhuman strength or ability, as he wouldn't really expose and show off his true power, but him giving some sort of Spider-Man type abilities, as he would have started to swing around the building and the area they were fighting at, eventually grabbing the other team and slamming both of their heads in, knocking them both out in like a swift kick or blow, as he would have taken them all out pretty quickly, as this way would have been very much faster, efficient, but also giving both of them a little bit of head trauma, as he would have also been smiling the whole time, enjoying knocking their heads together. As eventually, that team would have won, and if they didn't win in the original, they won now, but whatever. But basically, Deku would have been even more intrigued by Crane, or Kron, as he would have been, somehow trying to know or figure out how he has his power, how he has his abilities. But him, pretty much getting this off his head very quickly. As we would get switched to the end of the day, as Deku was on his way home. And Deku about to get a ride from what Layla, arranged him a ride for someone to pick him up. But this ride arriving, as out of nowhere, a huge slam hammer made out of some sort of black glue or black goo would have hit the car. In this split second, Deku would have reacted very quickly, grabbing the driver and getting him out of the building or getting him out of the car before he got crushed to death. As the driver would have been told to get to safety, as the driver would have been pretty much sniped by a freaking symbiote type freaking arrow, as it would have impaled the driver. As Deku would have gotten pissed off, looking over in the skylight, seeing that it was like nighttime, mid-ish time, as he would have looked around, saying, "Who did that? Where are you?" As he would have gotten into a fighting position. As out of nowhere, the man in the shadow would have came out of the shadows, him being hooded in a black fit, as he would have looked at him saying, "I know you, and I think you know me." Deku being confused, saying, "What do you mean? I don't know you. I don't know anybody with the type of power you have. Who are you? Your powers, they're familiar. You were at the entrance exams. Who are you? Why'd you kill that man? Why are you after me?" As the man would have chuckled, saying, "You know me, and I know you know me. Your parents may have kept me a secret, but look into the archives. Figure out who I am. Figure out who I am, brother." As he would have started to disappear in the shadows, as Deku would have yelled out in a very, confused tone, saying, "Brother, what the f-" As he would have started to cuss, rushing after this man in the shadows, but the man would have disappeared. As Deku would have looked around, being very much not flustered, but very much pissed off that what the hell's going on. As Deku would have gone home, and basically would have opened up archives, folders, and also emails that his father had, trying to figure out how the hell is it somebody that his dad knows that's calling, or so-called calling himself my brother. As he would have started to go through every archive, every folder, and every email, every phone call, every voicemail his father ever had in the last 6 to 7 months and years. But I'm gonna leave it off here, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a blessed day. If you guys do know or get on how I'm trying to, incorporate a certain, 2099 Spider-Man villain into this what if, just give a like if you know what I'm trying to do. But I hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you guys like and subscribe. And as always, guys, have a blessed day. Deuces.